Hey guys, welcome to Monday Night Success Training Call, Google Hangout. Curtis is on his way. He's running a little behind schedule, but I wanted to sit down and have a chat with you guys about tonight. Curtis is going to go over opportunity meetings, the layout of one, the purpose, the function, all of that kind of good stuff. But I did want to have a chat with you while we were waiting for him. I didn't want to keep you guys. I want to talk about the benefits of benefits. You know, everybody goes out and they always talk about success, and the benefits of success is money and being able to stay home and not having to work. Well, nobody ever talks about the benefits of the benefits. Like, what does having money really do for your life? You know, money is the benefit of success, the result of it. And so I wanted to just talk to you guys a little bit about the different things that being successful has given me an opportunity to do. You know, 2 weeks ago, my daughter had to have surgery and she has no health insurance. And to go in and have the surgeon's office tell you that you need to write a $10,000 check for the hospital, that's not the surgeon, that's not the anesthesiologist, that's not anything except for the hospital bill. Under normal circumstances, you know, her situation wasn't a life or death situation. So it wasn't like the hospital had to do it. It was their choice. And, you know, being able to sit down and write a $10,000 check because your kid needs surgery is pretty awesome. So that's the benefit of being successful and having, you know, making a good income. Now, another benefit is being able to hang out on my oasis back porch with my daughter, and I get to participate in her schoolwork and have conversations with her anytime the day that I want. You know, that's the benefit of success. The benefit of success is time freedom. The benefit of time freedom is being able to enjoy my daughter as she's growing up. You know, they grow up really fast. So that's a benefit of the benefit. Another benefit of the benefit when it comes to the money part of success, you know, money is the benefit of success. Well, the benefit of having money is that my baby sister just graduated and with her accounting degree. She's a baby, she's 27 or 26. And so I really wanted to reward her hard work. She has 2 kids. One has a disability, and she's worked full-time and went to school full-time and been a wife and a mother and taking care of a house and everything else. So the benefit of money is that I'm flying her and her 2 children and my other sister, her twin, and her 3 children, and my mom to spend a week here to do some girl things. You know, we're going to plan some days where we're going to take the kids to the beach and to the zoo and the aquarium. And then I'm taking my mom and my sisters for a makeover. So, you know, being able to pay for that trip is the benefit of the benefit, you know, the benefit of money. So when you guys are thinking about success and you're picturing, you know, the what that success means to you, I want you guys to really stop and think about how will this achieving success better your life? Who is it going to better? Who is it going to who's going to benefit from it? You know, for me, it's my family, my daughter. It also a benefit of being successful and making an incredible living is that you don't know limitations anymore. You can, you know, you don't just live life and go through the motions every day. You actually get to experience life. So when something great is going on, like there's this event in San Francisco sometime this year that my daughter really wants to go to, like I wasn't limited to funds or time or restrained from being able to plan that trip for her and I. So, you know, that's pretty wonderful. Being able to help people, that is an investment that I've come to love and making differences in people's lives, you know, helping my kids and my family, but also outside of that. So when you're sitting down and you're thinking about success, you need to have a picture. You need to know what that success looks like to you. If success to you is being able to afford a new car, like give your mind a mental picture of what is that car? What color is it? What make and model is it? What year is it? What's the interior? Is it leather or is it cloth? Where are you going to buy it from? Do you know somebody there? Is there a salesman? Like picture in your head actually going to the car lot and walking around and looking at the car that you're interested in. And you know what? If you have to make that picture a lot more vivid, go test drive it. Give your brain something to picture. If you can picture it, then you've got your mind in the right direction. But it's creating that vivid picture. If your picture is getting a new house, is that house got a fence around it? How many acres is that house on? How many bedrooms? Is the living room carpeted? Is it tiled? What color is it? What color is the door? Do you have a patio? Do you have a garage? Do you have a pool? Like really give yourself a picture and sit down and write it out. Write your picture down so that you can go back and look at it. That's very important. Picturing something in your mind is something that we get to do, especially when it comes to a health and weight loss product. You get to actually share stories with people so that they can envision themselves and put a picture in their head of what that looks like. What does success look like for you? Is it 20 pounds? Is it 30 pounds? What size? What are your goals? And when you take that goal, you actually paint a picture so that your mind can go for it. It makes things a lot easier. It also gives you something to focus on those days that you struggle. It's a picture for frustrating days and days of discouragement. It's something that it'll get you through those. Make it as vivid as you can. I'm really excited. I'm a meetings girl. I think that meetings make money. There's a lot of very successful network marketers in our profession that have said things like, meetings make money. Those that show up go up. And those kinds of things. Well, it's been proven. We just did an opportunity tour 2 months ago where we did 6 cities, actually 7 if you count Slidell's meet and greet, 7 cities in 7 days. And it was awesome. We were very creative. We did some things that I'd never done before. One of the things that we did was we actually had product on hand so that, it would be a motivating factor. Somebody joined as an associate that night, they could purchase their welcome pack and go home with it. And they didn't have to pay shipping. So it saved them a little money and they walked out with product so they could get started immediately. So that was a great benefit. The other thing that we did was we did a promotion so that every guest got a free 7-day combo. That went over like you wouldn't believe. Sometimes you have to be creative in your ideas of getting people to come and attend opportunity meetings. Free. People love free. They love drawings. They love door prizes. They love opportunities to win stuff. So for as many contests and prizes and giveaways that you can do, the more people that you'll prompt to get there. The other thing that I like to do is I like to do recognition. I'm big on recognition. So anybody that's advanced, you can always go to your family and your friends and tell them, say, listen, we have a leader that's coming to town. I just started this new company not too long ago, and there's this leader that's coming to town, and they're doing a little information meeting, but she also she's going to recognize everybody that advanced, and I'm one of those. It's kind of like a graduation. And so I would appreciate you coming and supporting me and cheering me on. So anyway, you can get them there. I one time did a meeting and I couldn't get my mom to go. So I didn't tell her I had the meeting planned. I actually said, listen, we got to go pick some stuff up and run over and do some errands and all this kind of stuff. And so I just need to come and get you. And so I showed up at her house at 6:30 and she got in the car. And when she got in the car and I was driving down the road, I said, oh, and by the way, before we do that little shopping thing, I have to go do an opportunity meeting. So, it's not about, you got to be creative. You don't have to spill your guts. Go out there and intrigue people and just fill the seats. It doesn't have to be a reason why. When I first started doing opportunity meetings, I was famous for calling my family and my friends and saying, listen, I'm doing an opportunity meeting. I've never done this before. I really need your help. I don't want to be embarrassed and have an empty room. I would just really love it if you'd show up and give me some support and be there so that I'm not totally humiliated by this guest that I've come into town. And people, they wanted to help me out. And so they came, and that was awesome. When Curtis starts planning this, hold on, that's him. Hello. Okay, I'll go get it for you right now. Where do you want me to send it? Facebook? Okay, I'll send it right to you. All right. Okay, guys, hang on. I have to send Curtis the link. But yay, he's coming. If I find the link. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Hang on with me. Be patient with me. I'm coming back. Hold on. I'm sending it to him now. Okay, awesome. I'm back. Got him the link. He should be joining us any second. But you guys have your pens and papers ready. This is going to be a really informational training tonight. So I think that opportunity meetings are going to be really something that everybody should be doing. Promoting it in your area, getting people there. Let's see. I may have to. I don't know. It sounds like he's having trouble getting in. Let me check. URL at the top of my screen. Oh, he needs this. Okay. All right, hold on. We're getting it. Just little technical difficulties. We're getting there. He's trying. Oh.
There we go.
Whoa, there he is. Yay.
Sorry, I had the wrong link. I was watching you, and you were doing a stunning job. I just was saying, Angel, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And I suddenly realized, oh, I came in on the wrong link. You can't hear me.
Awesome.
And then I was going to type you a question. I thought, well, okay, she's so busy she won't even see it.
Yeah, no, you would. I wouldn't see it. I actually forget about the toolbox thing. With questions and answers and all that kind of stuff over there, like the comments. Yeah, I forget about it. I told you when you started this, when you signed on for this gig with me, I told you.
I know.
I'm technically challenged.
Yes, yes. Well, yeah, but see, does it prove that you have to be technically skilled? No.
No. No, it's a good thing too because I'd failed.
You have to be heart skilled, not technically skilled.
That's right. You just have to have passion, drive, and persistence.
That's it. PDP. You're somewhere different.
Right.
That's a different behind you view.
It is. Look what I have.
Yes.
Wow. Can
There's
you see
a
it
water.
there? Wait.
Oh, all right. It's the big R. Hey, dude.
I'm working.
Yeah, I know. I got it. Yeah, shorts, kicked up, leg crossed, telephone in his ear. I'm working.
Right. Well, we really are. We're doing the Google Hangout, and then he and I just launched this amazing contest. You've heard of Build-A-Bear that kids do?
Yeah.
Well, Ryan and I are doing a contest for the month of June, a sizzling hot contest, and it's called Build a Beach Bag. So you have 10 levels, and for every single level, your beach bag is upgraded.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that.
So it's pretty cool. It's progressive, so that all you have to do is. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here. When you get all 10 levels and you get a full beach bag, where do you go?
Well, if you get all 10 if you get all the levels, then you add 20 new associates for this month, then you get to enter into a drawing for a beach getaway for yourself.
That's awesome. Cool. You got the bag.
Yeah. And the bag has cool stuff like a visor, a beach chair, a beach umbrella, a beach towel, these really cool flip-flops where the name of your company is cut out on the bottom. So everywhere you walk in the sand, it's leaving your company name. Like, it's cool.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's pretty sweet. That's good. See, you ought to put the company name on the bottom of one and your phone number on the bottom of the other. No, I'm just kidding.
Right? That's for me.
Exactly. Listen, I'm so sorry to be a few minutes late, but I've got some good stuff.
Yay.
We're going to call it meeting magic. If you want me to run through, you and I talked about it. You want me to run through people the real psychology and power of teamwork and meetings, so that you get exploding meetings. I mean, not like bad exploding. I mean, really good. They grow, and they become really, really tons of fun. What do you think?
I think it's awesome. I was sharing with them that Ryan and I had did a little tour, 2 weeks ago, and we had amazing success. But we were creative and we thought outside the box, and we had like product there to fill welcome packs so that they could take their stuff home with them. And we gave everybody a 7-day combo for all the guests that attended. So, we had great success. We had over 600 people. Over half of those were guests, and on site, over 50% signups.
See, that's just amazing. You guys are crushing. See, the true statistical average over time is 1 out of 4. So even if it slacks off, you'd have to slack off so much to get from 1 out of 2 to 1 out of 4. That's amazing. And I guarantee you're going to get some of the other ones who didn't to suddenly fall. It'll happen at some point.
Well, and that's what we did. We actually, our guy at corporate tracked it, and right now we're at like 82% from the people that attended. Yeah,
boy, that's just that. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I'm happy with this meeting magic. We combine this with that because what you guys have, and it's representative of so many people who come in here. This is a safe, generic, true believer. So, what you guys have in your company, though, and what everybody needs to look to create is that synergistic, that team camaraderie, and that real teammate feel. So we talk about teams, and we say the way you build an income is you build a team, and yet so many people then operate it like soloists, and they operate it like a monologue versus a dialogue. It's a soliloquy versus an ensemble cast, and you need to become an ensemble, and that's what we'll do. I'll show you this meeting magic, and it's just a theory of people seem to think that there has to be perfection at the front of the room, and that actually will work against you. There needs to be truth and reality. That's why some of the most popular videos today aren't these beautiful professional team, lighting, camera, action. It's just somebody sitting down, turning on their iPhone or their Android phone, pressing the video button and saying, hey, listen, this is me. I'm a real person. I'm just hanging out. Let me share a message with you. Those are the things that people are being attracted to because they just want truth and reality. And so why don't we do that? Why don't we go through this meeting magic thing real quick? Let me do a screen share real fast.
Well, oh, there we are. I'm going to mute me so that I don't interrupt you, okay?
Okay, well, I'll just yell at you if I need you, and then you can just unmute.
Okay, well, you don't, because you're awesome, so I'll just mute.
Can you see that white screen?
Yes.
Okay, well then good. I'm going to move it up just slightly because we're going to talk about meeting magic. Yeah, I already did that. So you can tell how bad my handwriting is. So ladies and gentlemen, don't knock on the handwriting. I'm just going to give you the heart, but probably should have been a doctor, except I'm not that smart. Okay, just had the handwriting for it. Okay, here's what meeting magic is. if you were going to have an ideal meeting, there would be a team of people involved. And so let's talk about the team for just a second. Who would be involved? And this can even be if you're having a meeting at your house, you just scale it down a little bit. But let's pretend you're at a hotel. Why? Because you've grown beyond your living room. Then you grew beyond the little community center in the apartment complex. Then you grew beyond, you know, the meeting room down at your local community center or at your church where you can host some things. And you've now grown to where you really need to be in a larger facility and you're moving into a hotel. But you can scale this for everything. And so here's really truly what a great meeting is. You're creating an environment of true warmth. Now, not being schmaltzy and not being over the top. You want to create an environment that people feel comfortable in. And the way they do that is they feel that it is sincere. And so what you want to do is you want to have a group of folks say, listen, we're not trying, we aren't selling anybody here. We truly come with the mindset, and as we talked about in the past, of being a servant, serving others, being servant leaders. And we simply want to create an environment where people will relax. Sometimes their natural resistance or hesitation to anything new, particularly being brought to them from people they may not know, their natural pushback to where they'll just relax, open up and listen. That's all I want. I don't care who says yes. I don't care who says no. I care that they relax, open up, and truly engage with the information. And it doesn't have to be presented by Tony Robbins, professional stage presenter. It has to be presented by true, warm, sincere people who say, I have information that I want you to know so that you can make the best decision for you. And so here's where it really begins. It really begins with those who greet or register. So you need to have a group of folks that is doing that. And one of the things you want to do is everybody at a meeting gets a name tag. Why? Because you want to make it easier for those from the front of the room to be able to identify people that they can communicate with. On the name tag, you want first name only. I don't need their last name, and I want it to be big. And I want 2 colors of name tags. I want red for members and blue. I want green for this, and I don't care what 2 colors you pick, but you want 1 color for those who are already team members and 1 color for guests. Why? Because I can immediately look out and I see all the blue name tags and I know where my guests are. I can see big, fat first names, so it's easy for me without having to, you know, walk up, bend down, and get an inch and a half from their name tag there on their chest. I need to be able to. So I need to be able to engage. And if I can say, you know, Mary, let me ask you a quick question, or if I can just say, Mary, does that make sense? Or John, does that make sense? I can start to create personal connection. So it all begins here. Did we greet and register them properly? Next, once you've done that, you want to make sure that there are certain things. You want to make sure that you've got the room team. And by the room team, is it set? Is it set properly? And what I mean by that is there correct lighting in the room? Is there correct temperature? And you want it to be not cold, but cooler. You don't want it to be warm or hot. People will just pass out and drop dead. You want, if nothing else, you need to make it a little bit too cool, because when you get the bodies in there, it's going to warm up. Do you have music? And again, there's a reason it's called background music, because that means it's in the background so people can chat. What music allows you to do, though, is you can increase the volume just slightly as you get a little closer to the meeting time, so people begin to get a sense that we're going. And music will create a really positive energy in the room. So do you have a room team? The greeters could get there early, do this, and it can be one person. If you got a small enough group initially, one person comes in, makes sure the room's set, then sits there and greets until the rest of the team shows up. This is preparation. So as long as you got this down, and the reason is you want to do simple things. For example, when you come in a room, you want to make sure if any way possible, you set the room so that the entrance is at the back, not on the side, and certainly not at the front. Why? You'll have some folks who are in late. You don't want them distracting anybody, okay? Once you do this, your room team, the question is, how do you control seating? And what I mean by control seating is like, no, you can't sit here. It means that you want to seat, if you can, front to back. Even if you need to, maybe what you've done is you've taped off the last couple of rows and say, this is for people who might be here really late. The reason we want to control these, we don't want to interrupt you. You've gotten here early and we don't want to interrupt anybody else. So please, if you'll sit towards the front. And so it just allows you to fill the front section. So then if the door is at the back and there are some people who straggle in, they just don't disrupt the flow of the meeting. Simple stuff, easy, quick, not difficult. One person, again, can kind of do this if you got a smaller meeting. and then you grow to a larger team of people who volunteer to do that. So there's your initial part of the team, the greeting and the room team, okay? For the meeting itself in the front of the room, the ideal meeting has 4 people. 1, 2, 4. For those who never learned how to count the Curtis way, it's a special way. It's more efficient. You get to things faster. Wow. Okay, 1, 2, 4. The funny thing is, I corrected it quickly, but this is now permanently on video. Okay, see, it proves you don't have to be technically savvy like Angel, nor do you actually have to have any intellect at all like me. Here's what you need. 1, you need an MC. This person does not have to have a stellar track record. They don't have to be a high rank. They simply have to be outgoing, okay? It can be a newer person. In this case, you really want, if you can, you want all 4 to have at least accomplished some level of advancement, but it could be the first one. Whatever is the very simplest first level of advancement in your company, like they just got to, beginning person 2, 2-star beginning person. Whatever the rank is, that's fine. You'd like them probably to be at least that. If bottom line, you just got somebody who's outrageously outgoing, but they love the company and they've just gotten started, that's fine. This can be somebody who's newer. It's just about someone who is comfortable. However, we also want to teach people how to become outgoing. So this can also be something that you put new people in to help them stretch. Why? There's only 2 things that an MC does, or actually there's 3 things. 1, there's the pre-meeting announcement, about 5 minutes before the meeting starts. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, we're going to get started here in about 5 minutes. So if you could please get ready to take your seats. If you need to use the restroom, please do so now. It's right outside and down the hallway to the left. That way you can be back in plenty of time. Again, we're going to get started in about 5 minutes. Thank you so much. We're so glad to have you here. That's it. That's the pre-announcement. Then at the kickoff, there's the current meeting and the kickoff the meeting announcements. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to get started. Thank you so much for joining us. There's a couple of things, again, I'd like to mention really quick, which will help us really respect your time and give you a great time this evening. Number 1, if everybody pull out your cell phones, if you would please turn those off right now. So the meeting announcements is 1, cell off. 2, questions, hold. And the reason you say, by the way, during our presentation, it's very possible that many of you will have questions. Now, we generally are able to get most of the questions answered just if you'll let us get through the presentation, but we promise we have a lot of team members here who are very qualified. If you'll simply hold your questions till the end, just so we can respect your time and anyone else who may be limited in time, they may have babysitters. If there's any questions that remain unanswered at the end of the presentation, we're going to take a quick break towards the end of the primary information, and whatever questions you have, we'll make sure that we stick around as long as you have to get all your questions answered. So 2 things you've done is you've taken control of distraction. There's no cell phones, and please hold your questions. And then finally, what the MC does to kick off the meeting is their story. First of all, it's a pleasure to be your MC this evening and kind of help the meeting as we proceed. My name's Curtis Broome. I'm originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I now live in Dallas, Texas, here with all of you. But let me share with you a little bit about how I got here. And then you share your story. Now, we'll do storytelling later, how to package your story. It should never be more. You should have a 60 to 90 second version. It should never be more than that. And why? There's basically a 4-step process. And why don't we just save this for next week? But it's basically name and where I'm from, what I've done in the past, what were my frustrations with that, and then since I've been here, what are the things that attracted me most and that I've now since experienced. And so here but we'll go through that in detail. But what they do is they tell their story. The purpose for this is it could be a brand new person if they're telling their story. This is just some stuff. So somebody who's never been at the front of the room, they feel like they're uncomfortable, that's okay. It's not about you. People feel uncomfortable because they think they're trying to be impressive. Stop it. Stop making it about you. Stop being so egocentric. Stop being so selfish, quite frankly. You are a person who is a part of a team who wishes to create greater things in the lives of the people you love and care about the most. And the only way you'll be able to do that is to help other people create greater things in their lives for the people they love and care about. It's not about you. Get over it and stop being so selfish. Stand up there and say, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started in a few minutes. We're so happy you're here, because you're happy they're there. You're greeting friends you just haven't met yet. Have an open, warm heart. You're there to serve them, so get over yourself. Stand up at the front of the room, and that's okay, because you're just saying, I love you, I appreciate you, the restroom's down the hall, please get back, we're going to get started in 5 minutes. Hey, we're getting ready to get started. Just a couple of things. Turn off your cell phone, hold your questions. And finally, let me share with you why I'm here with you today and why I'm so pleased to be here with you today as we kick this off. Can you tell us a quick story? You can't screw it up. It's your story. You're never going to get it wrong. You're not going to look foolish. And people are looking for real human beings, not perfect, high style point Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins presenters. That just, the world's tired of that. They're tired of the Hollywood perfect precision. They want real people having a real connection. So that's the MC. The MC will, first of all, get up, do the announcement, tell their story. Then you're going to have the second thing. You're going to have presenter one. Presenter one can also be newer because they're doing facts. Remember, facts tell, stories sell. But the first thing they're going to do when presenter one comes up, they're going to tell their story. Now they've heard from two totally different people. They've heard two stories of why someone was attracted from two different types of people to the particular opportunity or the particular information they're going to hear. And then this person will do company or industry rather, industry and company. What are the facts about the power of network marketing and this particular company? This person doesn't have to be good because they could literally read the slide. I'm going to show you a diagram of how this works. Then you've got presenter two. Presenter two can be newer. They don't have to be extraordinary. Hopefully they've had a little bit of stuff because they're going to tell facts. You can't screw up facts. You don't have to look stupid because they're on the slide. You don't have to make them up. You don't have to worry about being the expert. But before they tell the facts, they're going to tell their story. I think you guys are starting to see a thing. The reason you have multiple people is not because I don't think any one or two people are capable of doing the whole meeting. It's twofold. It has been shown that a single voice over an extended period of time, regardless, is exhausting for the mind to absorb. That's why, classes are held a certain amount of time, but understand students are in class because they're required to be or they get expelled. Here, people are there voluntarily, and usually it's in an evening, it's after a day of work, they're already pre-tired. And so what you want to do is by having multiple people, it's kind of like the shows like, ER, which, back in its day, it was one of the first that went really fast, quick, short camera shots. They didn't stay on one shot for an extended period of time. It was real quick because the flashing in front of the eyes kept the attention. By having story, quick information, story, quick information, story, quick information, you keep people's attention because number 4, this is the most important person. This is why the whole meeting was there. The rest of this was just a setup. But they've now got 3 people who have told a story. They've seen 3 different types of things. This person covers products. Why? Products or the service. Why? Because simple. It's factual. Here's our product or service. Yes, here's our features and benefits, but here's our products and services. What the second one will then do is they will have some testimonials, and we'll talk about how that works and how people do this. Okay? Testimonials are simple to your own personal story. Hi, my name is Curtis Broome. I'm from originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma, but now here in Dallas, Texas. I was introduced to product A about 4 months ago by a good friend of mine, and here's what product I was introduced to. It's kind of like, what have I done in the past? Well, here's the product I was introduced to. Here was my situation. Here was my challenge, but here's what's happened since. If it takes you longer than 60 seconds to do a product testimonial, somebody should get out a gun and shoot you. Stop. This isn't a dissertation. You're here to hit key points so that, and there will be testimonials, there's usually anywhere from 4 to 6. Okay, so it's 4 to 6 minutes at most. And we'll show you how this works. So person number 2, think about it. You tell your story, you already know that. You read some information on some slides, you already got that, and you have other people stand up and speak. No problem there. That's why somebody can be newer. You would like these people to have maybe started to moving up in rank, but if you've got a new meeting, bottom line, 3 people's story is better than 1 person's story. And then finally, person number 4, this is the person, presenter number 3, but the 4th person along with the MC, this has to be the strong person in the room. This is the strong one, okay? It could potentially be the strongest unless you have a special guest. For example, if you have Ryan or Angel in their company coming in, you never put them at the front of the room during the meeting. They do not do the meeting. They are the special guest because when you have a special guest like that, that is the 5th person, and that is the superpower position. If you don't have someone like that, then the strongest person fulfills both of these roles. And I'll show you what that is. So it's four people, but there's actually two roles there. This person is going to do obviously first tell their story, then they're going to do the opportunity, and they're then going to do opportunity testimonials, and then they're going to do the break and then quick start. Like it's usually a 10 or a 15-minute quick start training. This QST is where everybody locks, loads, and enrolls, done properly. Now that I've shown you the participants, let me actually go through all of it again, but I'm going to show you the meeting. When you see the meeting, now that you've just kind of got that information buried in your head, here's the way it works, okay? In a meeting process, there are two things that you have to keep in mind. One is, let's do it down here. One is time. Actually, I'm going to draw a different location. One is time. You don't want the meeting to take forever. And the other, so let's just do this. This is going to be time out here. So here's the timeline. And you have to, this is the emotion line. People make decisions with their heart. That's high emotion. You don't want to drag this thing out for 6.5 hours or everybody died. So you got to keep it on time, but everybody starts here. We're talking about guests now. We're only talking about the guest line, okay? Because obviously team members, they've already made their decision. And here's how it breaks down. What you have to do is you have got to get the emotion up to a level where people finally say, I have the information that I need. That information does not move emotion. Connection to possibility, their belief that, wow, I think I could do this. Wow, that person reminds me of me. Or, gosh, I can see myself. This makes sense. I could do this. I can relate to this. Those are the heart things. Let me tell you what moves emotion up. Only one thing moves emotion up. Story. Facts just take time. Now that's the key. Facts only fill time. Now I have to have facts because we buy with our heart, but we justify with our head. I only provide the facts so that your head can say, gosh, it's okay to do what you want to do, heart, because you are so excited, but I'm backing you up and it makes sense. But please understand, people do not choose to take a new career path to change their life because of facts. That's why if you think that it's important to know all the facts, you are missing the boat. You don't have to know any facts as long as you've got the story down. And so here's the way it works. Where it starts when you begin, what you've got is you've got the MC who starts off. And the first thing the MC does, as we said, is they tell their story. Now what you've done is you've started to raise it because people can connect with it. What the MC does, they first start by saying, hey, please turn off your cell phones and all your questions. However, what they do is they tell their story. Then all the MC does is they intro speaker one. That's it. Okay, the intro speaker one. And now the MC is done. That's why it can be somebody who's brand new and simple, because you've gotten the basic stuff done, you've got the basic stuff out of the way, and off they go. What's happened is people have started to connect with someone through the story. So the MC tells their story. They get the facts out of the way, they get the meeting rules, if you will. They get the meeting rules out of the way. They tell their story. So now there's a connection. So there's connection number one. And then they intro speaker one. Now let me tell you how you intro. When you intro somebody, it's very simple. The intro is not their life history. The intro is a bit about them, but you say their name last. A proper introduction is, listen, I'm now going to bring up your first speaker who's going to kind of kick off the meeting this evening. It's great to have them here with us. They're a newer part of our company. They've only been involved with us for about 3 months, but they've done just an amazing job. They've had such great success, with our products and with the people that they've introduced. But most importantly, they've just got a great heart and passion for serving others. Please welcome to the stage, someone to kick off the meeting. Please welcome Ms. Angel Fletcher. Boom. The last thing you do, the intro is just very simple. It's quick because they have to tell their story. So the intro is 1 to 2, personal points, maybe, a little bit about them being associated with the company, and then their name is last. That's how everybody gets introduced. So now they introduce, so the MC is done, and they introduce speaker one. Speaker one can be a newer person. Now, if you're limited number of people, then you can have one person who is speaker one and speaker two, because they're facts. That's okay. But you definitely want to go for 4 people if you can. If you've only got 3, you can have an MC. Somebody does speaker 1 and 2, and there you go. If someone just feels comfortable with the company part, they could be the MC to kick it off, tell their story, and then they could do industry and company. But you want to have at least 3, preferably 4. Now what happened is speaker 1, what's the first thing they do? Yep, you've got it. Hey, listen, thanks for bringing me up, John. I really appreciate it. You know, ladies and gentlemen, it's just such a pleasure to be with you here this evening. And, you know, thank you for that warm welcome. But let me share with you really why I'm here. I want to share a little bit about how I came to be here this evening. You know, about a few months ago, boom. Here's my background. Here's what I've done in the past. I was introduced to this thing a few months ago. Here's what's happened. Here's my story, okay? 60 to 90 seconds. Now, let me kick this off. We want to share with you a little bit about the profession of, you know, network marketing and why we're so happy to be here and to share with you this amazing company, you know, and then boom, then you go through that part of your presentation. Whatever your company presentation is, or your team presentation is, here's where after their story, so now it's connection number 2, they then do the industry and the company. They talk about the statistics of network marketing. It's going through phenomenal. I mean, globally right now, it's going through meteoric growth. It's really, it's really our destiny. Our time has come as a profession. You talk about the company. This can be a newer person who literally reads the slides. You can't screw this up. You can't make a mistake. If it's your first time up and you can hardly hear the sound of your voice over the knocking of your knees, congratulations. Welcome to being a servant leader. Servant leaders, their desire to serve others is greater than their personal ego and selfishness. Saying, I don't feel comfortable in front of the room is being selfish. You are a valued member of a team. You have value to give others. Get over yourself and give. That's what you need to do. So what they do is they go through the industry and company. You can literally read the slides. Just do so with a smile on your face. Literally, if you want to do that. If you read the information on the slides, you can't screw up, and it's a great way to get to the front of the room and to practice. But here's what happened. They started by telling their story. The emotion came up. Then they told the industry and the company their facts. You can't mess it up. It proceeds, it takes us through the timeline, but now we're giving people the logic they need to be able to make the decision. And when they're done with that, they then intro speaker 2. And so when you intro speak, now you concluded, you know, speaker 1 section of the meeting. They've got the industry and company facts. Do the same thing. They intro speaker 2. You keep it simple. A couple of personal things about them. Last thing, and now we want to share with you a little bit about our amazing products. And the person we're going to have do that have had such a dramatic impact with these products, and they've helped so many others. Let me tell you a little bit about them. 1 or 2, you know, key facts. Please welcome to the stage so and so. Now you introduce speaker 2 or presenter 2. It's really the 3rd speaker with the MC. So now you, oops, that's a 2. So you introduce speaker 2. Speaker 2, what's the first thing they do? They tell their story. Now someone has heard the 3rd story. There's a 3rd connection. Wow, they've got so many different people, you know, old, young, tall, short, male, female, professionals, you know, labor, you know, manual laborers. Wow, we've got everything. In other words, it's just connecting to the wide variety that you attract. What's the first thing they do? They tell their story, the emotional levels coming up. Then they give them some substance. They talk about the products. You can literally read the slides. This is not a science lesson. You don't have to go into all the research studies. You can say that they're there. You can show stuff. It's just get some data out of the way. They are, keep in mind, the guests, they're not going to remember anything or everything you said about the industry and company. They're just going to remember it sounded like the industry and the company were good. They're not going to remember anything you said about the products. You don't have to be a product expert. You don't have to be a smooth, you know, powerhouse presenter. Just read the slides. The reason we had you go up there was to tell your story, not the information, because they can get the information in full detail on the website in other ways. But you just touch on it. That's why the slides are highlights, and then they can have more. You create a meeting of warmth and a meeting that is open. You create a meeting of sincerity. You're going to be fine. You're going to crush it. Okay. And then what do? Oops, I'm sorry. Then they do testimonials. This is key. They do it from the front of the room. What you want to do is you want to identify those 4 or 5 people, 4, 5, or 6 folks. And what you want to do is you want them sitting in different places in the room. And the reason for that, naturally in a meeting, the people up front is the us, and the people, or the people up front is the them from the perspective of the guest. The people standing up and at the front of the room are always, that's them. They're a different class of group. They're up there. And all of us sitting, we're us, because we're the sitting team and there's the standing group. It just is that natural human dynamic, literally just with physical height and that kind of stuff. You know, people are standing up, other people are sitting down, and you're kind of doing that talking down. And you don't want to make it feel that way, but it's just always going to be that way to a degree. The power of testimonials for product, again, hi, my name is Curtis. I was first introduced to this XYZ product about 4 months ago. The challenge I had was this, and here's what happened to me just in my first 2 weeks, and then after 2 months, boom, sit down. Well, in fact, Bill, you've also got a story, don't you? Oh, and Janet, you've got one, and Mary, why don't you share yours? And Elizabeth, what happens is the testimonials for product they stay where they are. They don't come to the front of the room. They stand where they are and they stand up. So what happens is when somebody stands up, starts making noise, everybody naturally turns their head. The advantage of that is this also creates physical movement. The guests can't get tired because suddenly, ooh, there's a noise over there behind me to the right. Let me turn around. So they'll just naturally, they bend their body, they turn around. That literally keeps people from falling asleep in their seats. And, oh, somebody else is in the back on the left. Oh, I got to turn around and look to the left. Oh, somebody's right there in front of me to my left. Oh, okay, then over to the right. That's why you have people spread out around the room. And when they stand up and give their testimonial, you've got this broad, diverse group. All of a sudden, the guests are saying, oh, my sister's got the story. My sister, that's like my sister. Oh, my brother could, oh, wow, that's like me. Oh, my mom, this would be great. In other words, the testimonials, that 4 or 5 minute, what I like to call machine gun testimonials, they're hearing 4 or 5 stories. So they've gone through the product fact. Now their head can justify it, but they go, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4 testimonials. The emotion is coming up, but the connection. So all of a sudden you've got story, 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 story. Now take a look at this. We're already at about 7 stories. If you got 5 testimonials, you're at 8 stories, and you're maybe 20 minutes into the meeting. And you've had 8 stories. That's 8 different connections. And now as the time is progressing rapidly, people are connecting right and left. What does speaker 3 then do when they're done? They introduce the strongest speaker, or a very strong speaker as a speaker. They introduce a speaker, well, they're the 3rd speaker, they're person number 4. They introduce speaker number 3. And let me tell you about speaker number 3. This is where it all comes together, okay? This is where you do the opportunity. But what is the first thing that speaker 3 does? They tell their story. There's my 9th story. I mean, I'm 20 or 25 minutes into this meeting, and I've got 9 connection stories, maybe 20 minutes in. I mean, we're connecting right and left, and they go through the opportunity. Now, let me be clear. You do not teach a comp plan. You maybe say in our compensation model, there are 7 or 8 different income streams that over time you can earn. Let me touch on a couple of them, and you touch on them. And typically what you want to do is you want to say, look, we have things that allow you to begin to earn income when you're just getting started. Then we also have middle, income as you've been here for a while that helps you transition to the top income levels, because we want people to be growing and earning as they go. So that just makes sense to anybody. Oh my gosh, I can grow and earn as I go. Yes. So what happened? What happened is when I introduced speaker number 3, the 4th person speaking, including the MC, but the power person, they told their story. I'm really cranking up the emotion. At no time is it coming down, because facts are good, but I'm cranking it up. Now they go through the compensation model, and what happens is everybody begins to realize, oh my gosh, this is great. Well, I get this. So you do not teach it, you highlight it. You start off, speaker number 3 starts by saying, listen, I'm not here to teach you our compensation plan. And the reason is we have videos, we've got a beautiful document that lays it out in detail. The person who invited you can direct you to the website or can show you a copy of that. Any questions you've got, we've got tons of our compensation plan experts on the team who can answer any questions you've got. But let me share with you some highlights of the concept. And the concept is through teamwork, where people are more experienced. It's designed to reward people who have experience and who know what they're doing, to help you move faster, by them taking you by the hand and guiding you. So instead of stumbling along the way, you are led through a really clear path from when you get started, even if it's very part-time, on through beginning to be able to earn some immediate incomes in very simple ways. And then as you get a little more experience yourself, even part-time, how to grow those incomes through simple team growth to where one day maybe you have the freedom to take control of your life and your destiny. That's how our plan is designed. Let me touch on a couple of things. I mean, in that 60 or 90 seconds, I basically said the whole comp plan without having to say it, because I talked to what I know is what people are looking for. Because after they review the comp overview, not the comp plan, here's the killer. When you now want to talk about the business testimonials, that's key. These are usually, again, 4 to 5. These are still 60 to 90 seconds, but these people are carefully selected and they have been taught, how do you present your story of the business? It still wants to be warm, it is sincere, it is honest, it's heartfelt, but this is where we do how to tell your story training. These people are prepared and they're ready. They're diverse, they're tall, short, male, female, all different kinds of stuff, but they know what they're doing, because this is not where you get up and take control of a microphone or we should throw you off the stage. 60 to 90 seconds, period. But these testimonials are brought to the front of the room. These are the front of the room testimonials. And so when when speaker number 3 gets to this part, what they'll say is, you know, we'd like to bring some people up now who can share with you some of their experiences as team members working with this team so they can really create a great financial future for themselves and their families. You know, let me have a few folks come up and join me. And then speaker 3 just calls out those 4 or 5 people. They all come to the front of the room. You know, as they call them up, you know, the team members are kind of clapping and applauding, and so guests always fill in. And so what happens is they come up to the front of the room and they're standing on one side of the stage. Like if I am facing out towards the audience, they're usually behind me to my left. Then speaker 3 takes control, and what they do at that point is they then introduce them one at a time. So here becomes testimonial number 1. That person's 60 to 90 seconds. The emotion comes up. What they do is when you literally, I would then introduce the first person. They would come to the center of the stage where I'm standing. I would hand them the microphone, and then I step off to the side, and they take the center of the stage. So all eyes are on them. Again, don't freak out if you're the testimonial. Be there with a servant heart, but just tell your story. It's 60 to 90 seconds. You know, here's my name, here's where I'm from, here's what I've done in the past, here's what I liked, but here's where my frustrations with it, but here's what I found since I've been here, and we'll go through that story. Person number 1, when they finish their testimonial, they move to the right side if they were behind me facing the audience. Then I take the microphone back. I introduce the second person. They come to the center. I hand them the microphone. I step to the side. They give their testimonial. Give me back the microphone. They move. And so what's happening, it takes about 7 to 8 minutes, but because it's really quick and to the point, but I've had 4 or 5 stories that are right in the wheelhouse of what people are looking for. Here is literally where we are taking emotion to a peak. It is just literally driving it with each story higher and higher and higher. This is why this last speaker is so critically important, because when the last testimonial is done, then as a group, the speaker thanks all 4 or 5. They're all standing there to the right side of the stage. Thanks all 4 or 5. Says, thank you all so much for sharing your stories. Ladies and gentlemen, give them a hand. And then all 4 or 5 of those people walk off the stage down the center. They go down the center aisle between the 2 sections of seats, and they go to the back. They don't distract. They don't go back to their seats and try and crawl. They leave the stage. They go straight to the back. They get off, get out of the way quickly. Why? Emotion is at a peak, and you don't want to mess it up. This is where what speaker 3 does is this meeting is concluded. This part of the meeting is done. And literally at this point, that's where if there is a special superstar guest, then speaker number 3 then simply introduces them and brings them up. If Ryan or Angel is there, if you're in that particular company, this is where you bring them up. The whole meeting has never been them, because it makes no, as long as people read the slides, as long as they just did a simple overview, and it's the testimonials, it's all these stories that made it happen. If you look at this, we're now 12, 15 stories. Then you bring up that special guest. If the strongest person, speaker 3, they simply close it out saying, you know, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, we just want to thank you for giving us your time. We know it's valuable. We hope that what you've seen excites you as much as it excited all of us. If you have any questions, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Please ask the person who invited you. We'll get your questions answered. Then we're going to come back real quick, and we're going to do a real quick 15-minute quick start where we actually show how people in their first 24 to 72 hours can get started properly, and how people move into income so rapidly, and why these people are able to have these success stories. We'll show you exactly how that happens for those of you who wish to stick around. If not, we appreciate your time, and we just thank you for being here with us. Please turn to the person who invited you, get those questions answered. We'll be back here in just a few minutes. Boom, and the meeting ends. Here's what's happened. At a peak, I recognized them, I thanked them, appreciated them. If I don't have that super special guest, I say, listen, we're going to take a quick 10-minute break. Let's get some questions answered. Then we're going to come back, and it only takes 15 minutes. We'll stay after that as well to answer questions. But in this little quick start, we're going to teach you the secrets to the universe and the, in the history of life. Okay, and you'd be surprised, almost everybody will stay. Here's where then this is, and we'll talk about this later, but there's a technique here. But this is the meeting process. It is very simple. You need to follow this mentality even if you're doing a meeting in your home. At that point, it may be 2 of you doing it, but you've got a few other friends along with some guests. It's the same concept. The magic of a meeting is not the information. Don't be uncomfortable at the front of the room. It's not about the interesting company. It's not about the product. It's not about the compensation. It is about the story, the testimonial, stories, about the stories. It's about the 4 or 5 stories. It's about the stories. Stories take up emotion. You will have filled the time with enough fact that right here, if they feel that it was warm, it was sincere, and it was honest, that's all you're trying to accomplish. Then let those that it's right for choose, let those that it's not right for not choose, and everybody wins. So there you go. That is the structure of a meeting, starting with who are the players, what are their roles, from setting up the room, greeting properly, the people who execute the actual meeting process, and that's what it looks like. It is literally a function of story, fact, story, fact, story, fact, story, 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 fact, story, 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 close. I don't mean close the sale, I mean in the meeting, get to questions, wrap it up. Come back for your quick start if that's something that you feel comfortable that you guys do in your company, and that's really the over top. But there you go. That's kind of the process and the meeting outline. And you can do this, guys. Brand new people can handle it. If you're new, if everybody's new, pick the strongest of the new and have them do the speaker 3 role, and let everybody else do MC speaker 1 and 2. You can't mess up MC speaker 1 and 2. Turn off your cell phones, hold your questions. Let me read these slides, let me read the next slides, let me introduce your final speaker. I mean, you just can't mess up. That's why MC speaker 1 and speaker 2 are great places for newer members of the team to get exposure to the fact that you don't have to be afraid of being at the front of the room. Go with a servant heart, go with a desire to help and to help other people change their lives. It's not about you. Read the slide and do so with a great heart. And then you get the practice, so one day you'll be the speaker 3 for all of your team members, and then you're growing them through these roles until you're growing speaker 3s throughout your team, and that's when your income goes through the roof because you've helped other people take control of theirs. So anyway, there you go, Angel. That's kind of the meeting outline. What are your thoughts?
I think that everything that you said is what we do. This last tour, we didn't have anyone to do most everything, so we kind of did it ourselves. I played MC and guest speaker, those kinds of impromptu.
You had to go out there at first, but next time through, they're ready.
That's exactly right. But I do things like while guests are still coming in, I have everybody pull their cell phone out. So everybody likes to be checking their social media. So, I have everybody pull their cell phone out and I say, listen, we're network marketers. I want you to get with somebody, take a picture with them, tag them on Facebook, send them a friend request. I want you guys to network. I want you to hashtag whatever town it is, rocks, and the product name. And then when I get home, I'm going to pull that hashtag and I'm going to pick somebody to win something for free. Promoting, connecting, and networking. It's not just about selling somebody. It's about connecting and getting with other people in your area And I, you know, at the end of my meeting, I have everybody that's in that area go to one section of the room and do meetings. So, but you know what's funny is it's awesome to me, Curtis, to see how I do an opportunity meeting. And I've never sat in on an opportunity meeting. I've never had anybody train an opportunity meeting. And you just put what I do into words. Like I don't even know that what I do until you just described it.
Well, but that's, you know what it is. You've evolved through your experience to be a networker. In networkers, it's more about the stories and connections than it is the facts and figures. Why you don't need to worry about the company facts and the product facts. They're already there. Just allude to them. You just want to make enough noise to get to the point where the people can stand up and tell their product story. It's nothing more than that. You need, again, people justify with their head. Let me give you some justification information because I know you're going to need it. But let you listen to 12 or 15 stories while you're here of people's experience with the company, people's experience with the product, so that you can find something to relate to. That's it. That's a meeting. Well, you've always been here, let me tell you about so-and-so, or let me tell you about, because you're someone who is so naturally excited about the success and the positive results of others that you want to tell everybody about everybody, so you just naturally evolved into the right meeting. But that diagram, that's how people do meetings. That's been taught for decades. That is the philosophy and always will be the philosophy of an actual meeting. And so, give me just a second. Yeah. Okay, yeah, just give me 1 second. So anyway, but that's it. That's the meeting. So you've just naturally done it, but we'll be, you know, that if people want a guideline, that's just it. They can do angel meetings just following it that way. It's just
awesome. Well, maybe next week we'll talk about writing a story.
Yeah, I mean, because how you create a story, the idea is to get it done and get it done quickly so you're not dragging it out. People that you hand a microphone to and they just keep going and going and going, you can kill it. When you start doing, and by the way, one last thing, when people get up to do their testimonials about product, if the person doing the product missed something, tough, don't go teach. It is 60 to 90 seconds. Or we should rip the microphone out of your hands. If somebody screwed up on the compensation thing, don't go back and say, oh, by the way, they forgot to tell you about, no. It's not that. We made noise so you can tell your story. Stick to your story, be done with it, because you can literally kill it at that moment. So you don't want 3 and 4 and 5 and 8 minute testimonials. It's bam, bam, bam. It's that they're hearing something good from 15 people. The 15 people is what's important. Even the specific details of the story is just, man, everybody, they're so diverse, I can connect. That's what you're trying to accomplish.
Well, and we do the same exact things. You know, we do a company opportunity call every week. And it's the same thing. There's about 30 minutes on this call where you hear a brief summary of the products, and it's like 1 sentence for each product. And then you get to hear testimony, testimony, testimony.
That's it. That's it. That's the whole point. Make noise so they have some justification. Tell stories so they have a heart connection. There you go.
Exactly. You're awesome, dude. You're awesome.
All right, sweetie. Well, I love you guys. You and Ryan just, keep cranking away, doing amazing stuff. I'm actually getting ready to run into another meeting real quick. I've got another hangout I'm going to do. So it's been so much fun to spend time with you guys, and I hope that was of value. And, and then that's what we'll do. Well, next week we'll construct a story. How do you tell the story? Your product story and your personal story, your business story. How do you tell them so you have the most impact and they are the most positively reinforcing in a meeting, on a call, whatever it is.
Awesome. Well, you have an awesome week, and I'll talk to you soon. Love you, man.
All right, sweetheart. Love you too. Talk to you soon.
All right, bye.